Good morning from the Rain Dance Ranch. It's raining and later I'm gonna go out and dance. But in the meantime, I want to talk about one of my KABLOOM crates, I think is what I'm gonna call it. This is technically a beta test for it's kind of like a crate subscription service, but instead of it being a subscription, it's just going to be in October. You can order one of these crates and then I will deliver it to you. So, and that will be for the local people in my locale, which is Phoenix, Arizona. And they will probably be something like around this size, maybe even a little larger. I've got some larger plants that I will be including. And I was originally thinking that I would just be like, it would be like a CSA box. Like, here's some you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, like grower's choice kind of stuff. But I think I will make it so that people can choose different plants that they actually want. So I might take pre-orders, and then put everything together, and it'll be, again, like I said, a basket that's about this size. It's about 14 inches by 12 inches kind of a size, maybe, like I said, and slightly larger possibly. And they will be delivered for $50, but there will be a lot of plants in there. And so then you can cut down your costs in terms of what you're going to be spending when you go to an actual nursery. You'll get a lot more for your money. I actually think that I will do more plants than this for that $50 price point. And then the stuff that is unknown that you will receive in here will be little things like this. Like little irrigation stakes, some composting amendment. Maybe I'll throw in some bulbs to try that you didn't necessarily order. So you'll really get a lot of value for this. You know, some unexpected things, useful things. And if there are things that you don't want, you know, maybe somebody else that you know can use them or donate them. So anyways, that's the plan for this. So, but this particular container is a beta test and is going to be going to an experienced gardener who's going to try them out and tell me what she thinks and hopefully help me to help review like the packaging and maybe some of my presentation text that I'm going to be putting up out in the world and things like that. So I am looking for other people to work with to sort of give me some feedback on what I'm doing. So if you are watching this and you want to give me your feedback, I would really appreciate that. Leave a message below. Okay, so let's get started with what's in here. So I'm going to try to do this real quick without explaining too much. So again, here's like some Super Thrive. Good for when you transplant plants. This is also good for any plant that is suffering from something. Usually that will kind of help revive them. That's how I've always used it in the past, and I've had a lot of success. Some iris bulbs. I like these particular Dutch iris because the Dutch iris make better cut flowers than like the bearded iris. So, and I do know these grow here. I've never done it. So hopefully we'll be experimenting with that. We'll see how that goes. Irrigation spikes. These are supposed to be slow release. You put a bottle on here and then it'll slowly release water. So if you have a house plant or a plant in a pot that's not receiving automatic irrigation, and you know it's going to need water. This could work for, you know, you're going to be away for a couple days. You know it's going to be getting water. But they're not really that great quality. I just had them on hand, but they're still useful for getting water down in, if you want to make sure to get some water down into certain plants. They're just unpredictable. Like, sometimes they work and they do like a slow drip, and then other times it's like they just gobble up the water. And I'm like, what the heck? It's supposed to be a slow release. Anyways, see, I'm talking too much, but I guess, you know, the point is for the person who's getting this, to kind of know what the heck's going on with all this stuff. Okay, this is not edible as far as I know. It could be. It's a San Diego style succulent. I mention that because I want to focus mainly on ornamentals that are also edible, as well as edible plants like tomatoes and herbs and, you know, pomegranate trees, you know, things like that. But I love this succulent. It loves living in Phoenix, and you can just pull out these leaves and stick them in the soil and they will grow. You can see there's a little plant like growing out the end of that leaf right there. They just grow, and you can forget to water them in the summer and they just continue to live. So if you like succulents, or you want to plant an ornamental plant that looks good year-round, this is a good one. Let's see here. Let's pull this guy out because I can't pull out anything else until I do. This is a rock that a friend of mine painted, which I love what she did with it, and I've been enjoying it for a while now. And she also did some other like tile pieces. And I'm like, I don't know what to use these for. I like having them, but, you know, I just kind of have them sitting around and I enjoy looking at them, but I wasn't really using them for anything. The tiles, that is, that she painted. And so finally I started using them on top of my soil bags that are half used. I used to try to put clippies on them. I'm a real big clippy person. But the clippies just don't work for soil bags, and I need those in the kitchen. So I started putting the tiles that she gave me on top, just to kind of make sure that they stay closed and all that. And I love it. I'm like, this is great. I mean, why would you want to use something ugly when you can use something beautiful? So this is officially meant to be used as a bag holder, downer, closer rock. Could use it as a paperweight because, you know, you can never have enough paperweights, or just decoration. I mean, it would look pretty just sitting in a garden, kind of like a gazing ball or a gnome, just some little unexpected thing. But yeah, it does have an actual purpose. Okay, I'm getting chatty here. So medicinal aloe is in here as well. And these are probably about a year old, maybe a year and a half. And that is significant because if you really want to get the best medicinal use out of aloe, you want the leaves to be 7 years old and like 8 to 10 inches long before you use it. There's a lot of people that say it doesn't matter when you use it. And sure, it's helpful on... It would probably still be helpful on a sunburn or something, but just something to know. But these make really great ornamental plants here in Phoenix, and every, like, I think February, March, they get a big flush of beautiful yellow flowers. They're not long lasting, but it is a nice little thing to look forward to. And these proliferate like crazy, so in a couple years you'll have a pretty substantial stand of these. This is probably something that I would always include in my baskets or crates, my KABLOOM crates. Did I mention that that's what I'm thinking about calling them? This is something that you can add to your compost. I'm calling it Supercharger. And what it is it is charcoal. And I've added some bat guano and some soursop leaves and a little bit of Himalayan salt. And you don't put this in your soil where you have plants growing or where you're going to be planting right away, because it will sap a lot of nutrients out of the soil if you don't charge it, as they say, or activate it. And I'm not sure if activate is the proper term, but that's my understanding right now. So what you want to do is you want to put this in your compost bin, and then it will get activated in your compost bin. And I would recommend putting it in with your nitrogen greens, like in a layer that you're putting. If you're putting a layer of nitrogen greens in, sprinkle this all around there, and then you can put some browns on top of it and do another layer next week if you're composting like I am. I don't have a bunch of material ready to go all at once, put it in and then cover it and wait. You know, I add things over the course of 6 months, and then I let it simmer on from there. So, but it probably needs to be in the compost for a couple months, maybe a month if you're doing fast compost. And you can also add other things, like if you want to add blood meal or bone meal. Oh wait, you know what? Did I add bone? I added bone meal to this as well, but not blood meal. But you could add something like that. You could add kelp, whatever you want. And then what happens is the charcoal will sort of absorb all of the good stuff from both your compost and these other little additives that I mixed in here. And then once it's all charged up and mixed in with your finished compost and you put it in your soil, it acts as basically a slow release fertilizer, but it also enhances soil life. And the charcoal does not degrade. So it offers a long-term benefits to the soil. So definitely not the kind of soil you want to get rid of once you start putting that in there. Now, it does help if you have like 5 to 15% of this stuff in your growing area. So we'll get more into that later. Okay, lemon balm. This is like mint. This is in the mint family, and people in Phoenix have reported that it's not something you want to plant in a container where you're growing other plants, that this will interfere with. Like, if you put it in a container, eventually this is the only thing you're going to be growing in there. So, or in the ground, you probably don't want to put it in the ground because it'll really spread, they say. So, but man, love that lemon balm. Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, well, the person I'm giving this to will know what to do with that, I'm sure. So this is an ornamental that could have, you know, microclimate. These might be nice planted in amongst low growing plants like strawberries that need like shade and cooling effects, because these plants are kind of like little umbrellas. Now I've cut these, as you can see how nice and uniform they are. That is not how the plant grows, that is cut. So this is Nile grass, and this is what it looks like once it's grown in. You can kind of see how big the leaves are up there at the tip, but I cut off those leaves, and then what you do is you stick them in water upside down, and then they start growing roots and new plants. And I just started these about a month ago, and they will be planted in a pot probably in February, maybe January. And then by next year, I will have more plants that look like this guy in pots. And I'm probably going to be selling those I don't know, I love them. I might not sell very many of them. But that's the intention. I'm going to constantly be making those, but there's no reason that once you get, if anybody is watching this and they buy one of these plants, you only need one, and then you can make a bunch more, and they grow great in the landscape here in Phoenix. If they're growing in pots, I find they do better in the shade in the summer, but they're pretty tough. They do take a lot of water though, so you got to stay on top of watering. Okay, so then we've got tomatoes. I've got 3 tomatoes, and they are the same variety. They're about a month old, so I think you should be able to get a good harvest of tomatoes before it gets too cold. If you have a greenhouse, they'll probably keep growing. I don't know. And that's one of the things that I'm working on, is figuring out how to grow tomatoes year-round in Phoenix, whether it's summer or winter. People are always saying there's really only 2 tomato seasons. But I'm like, well, you can grow them in greenhouses if you have a climate-controlled area, you know, or the right microclimate. I think you can grow them, but I don't know. The person I'm giving these to has a lot more experience with tomatoes. I don't know. She might be like, yeah, good luck with that. But I don't know. And then there's different varieties do better than others. So this is called the Black Seaman tomato, and they're like a really super dark purple. So it'll be interesting to see how these do. And cilantro, I've got little cilantro starts. This typically is something that you can direct seed. But for somebody that didn't get to it yet, here's some ready to roll. They're a little leggy. I think I had them a little too far away from the light when I was growing them in my germination, under my germination lights. So next round, I'm going to make sure that the light is right on top of them. Maybe they won't be so leggy next time, but hopefully they'll grow on and be fine. I don't know. Typically, leggy plants aren't that great from what I understand, ultimately, but who knows? I think it's still worth a shot, and there we go. So then I've got these parsleys. This is Italian flat leaf. There's 2 of them in there, and then this is Shasta Daisy, which is should perennialize, and then it will spread kind of like your strawberries. And so after a year or 2 or 3, they will sort of spread, and you can dig them out, the portions that you don't want if it starts getting too big, and replant them in other parts of the yard, or give them away, or just get rid of them because you don't want so many of them. I have no idea how they will do in Phoenix. Will they make it over the summer? You know, are they going to need part shade? How will they do in full sun? We don't know that, so hopefully this year we will find out. Then I've got what I call lovebird sunflowers, which will attract lovebirds to the yard. They love sunflowers in general, but this particular kind, they love the seeds on these. This is technically what is it called? Black oil sunflowers, I think is what they're called. And you can buy these as like bird seed, like at Ace Hardware or whatever, but you can also plant them and actually get sunflowers, and then if they get seeds, you will attract even more lovebirds to your yard, which you want, because I attracted lovebirds to my yard, and it was awesome. Several times I've seen them in the yard, and they really, really love the sunflowers. So that's the main reason to plant sunflowers, as far as I'm concerned. So there's 2 of those in there, and hopefully they will flower before it gets cold. I don't know. I'm trying to push the envelope and see how late we can get sunflowers to bloom out in the landscape. And then here we've got Alyssa, which smells like sweet honey. And I did the Rosie O'Day variety, which you can't normally get at nurseries. So this is kind of a special treat as far as I'm concerned. And I want to be experimenting with all of the different colors of alyssum, because it's really easy to find white alyssum, but to get pink or purple alyssum ready to rock and roll at a nursery is not always possible. Plus, why pay all that money that they charge for those things? And then here's Billy Buttons. This is from Australia. It's like a weed from Australia. And it gets these cute little yellow ball-shaped flowers that look like golf balls. And I just really want to have some of these sticking out of my petunia plants or something. I did make a planting. Oh yeah, I planted them with baby's breath, which kind of bushes out like alyssum does. And so I'm hoping that these will just kind of be sticking out of like a mound of pink flowers, and then I'll have these little yellow balls sticking up. So I'm real excited. Hopefully they will bloom in the spring. But hey, if they don't bloom, if I can get them to live until summer and they bloom in the summer, great. And I have no idea if they'll perennialize or what these are gonna do. So can't wait to find out what my people say. Did I talk about the petunias? So these are petunias. There's 3 petunias in each of these cups. And these are pink, not pink, they're called raspberry something. And they're sort of like a magenta pinkish veined with white petunias. And then these I believe are coral, but we're gonna call them the mystery petunias because I got stuff mixed up and I don't know what these are, but they could be the coral ones. That's what I was going for, so I hope that's what they are. So that's a sampling of the kinds of things that I will be offering in my seasonal KABLOOM crates. And the next one that I'm gonna do is in mid-February. I should have some ready to go mid to late February because that's another good planting time. And that will include more things that will grow on in through the summer. But I may also at some point start doing a summer crate and a Christmas crate. I don't know. It's all a big experiment. Everything's in development. Also, I'm going to be offering sort of promotional opportunities for other companies. So like if you have a restaurant, like, let's see, do they have the name on here? Like Salad and Go, and you have cups or something that I can use in the baskets. Or if you want to include some kind of promotional materials, I am offering that as well. You can sponsor me. And I will help promote your business. So here I've just got some examples of something that a company could give me one of their branded containers, and then I can use it like this. Or again, there could be some coupons or something somewhere sitting within the basket that you could promote your business with if you would like. I'm definitely going to be hitting people up for that eventually. So if you're watching this, you have a business and you think that you could promote something you've got going on through me, I will have that opportunity. But I'm not particularly, or I'm not actively pursuing anybody right now to do that. But get in touch with me if you're interested anytime. All right, so these are the KABLOOM crates. This is the one that's going out as a beta test to an experienced gardener here in Phoenix who will hopefully give me some good feedback on this. Let me know what you think, and since it's raining right now, I'm about to go out and dance. All right, have a great day.